Thor, you helped, but we need to go.
We're almost at the end of Phase 5 with just one movie left to go. After that, Phase 6 kicks off and will run through 2025, 2026, and 2027. Marvel usually sticks to their release schedule pretty well, so we've already got a bunch of exciting stuff lined up. Here are the best upcoming Marvel projects hitting in 2025 and 2026. Thunderbolts, May 2nd, 2025. This is the last movie wrapping up Phase 5, and it really feels like Marvel's first serious dive into telling a story from the villain's perspective. It's all been building up to this, especially with Valentina Allegra de Fontaine popping up all over the place, in Black Widow, Hawkeye, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Wakanda Forever. Now, with Thunderbolts, we might finally see what she's been scheming all this time. The movie's pulling together a crew of familiar MCU faces, kind of a bunch of anti-heroes and villains that people didn't expect to see again. But this oddball team might be just what the MCU needs right now. It's not just action, it's got some real redemption vibes too. You've got Contessa Val running the show, with Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Taskmaster, US Agent aka John Walker, Ghost, and Bucky Barnes all in the mix. With a crew this stacked, surprise additions seem unlikely, but hey, it's Marvel, you never know. Marketing's picking up now, and the latest trailer has a totally different feel. Florence Pugh even said it gives off A24 vibes, and honestly, that tracks. The tone, the editing, the cast, all of it feels more indie and raw than your usual Marvel fare. It gives us a good peek at the team dynamics and the main threat, Sentry. In the comics, this guy's a powerhouse, like seriously OP. The Sentry is one of Marvel's most complex and overpowered characters, blending cosmic-level strength with deep psychological layers. His powers are pretty much limitless, and Marvel has intentionally kept the full extent of them vague, making him a kind of wild card in any storyline he's involved in. At the core, his abilities appear to stem from a super soldier serum enhanced to absurd levels, like 100,000 times stronger than what made Captain America. But then Marvel went meta with it. Later stories suggest he might actually be a sentient energy being from another universe who used the serum as a way to anchor himself in this one. That opens up the idea that his powers are not just chemical or genetic, but cosmic or even divine in nature. His feats are jaw-dropping, fighting Galactus, holding up a Celestial, overpowering Terrax and Ultron, and going toe-to-toe with Hulk and Thor. He's got flight, invulnerability, insane strength, energy projection, healing, sensory perception beyond comprehension, and even molecular reconstruction. He's essentially unkillable. He once flew into the sun to die and came back. But then there's the Void. The Void is the dark flip side of the Sentry, like if every good deed Reynolds does automatically generates an equal and opposite evil act from the Void. Sometimes there are two personalities. Sometimes it's all just Rob's mind fracturing from being overwhelmed by godlike powers. Either way, the Void is terrifying. It's capable of shape-shifting, weather manipulation, mind attacks, and destroying entire superhero teams by itself. It once ripped Ares, the god of war, in half and nearly wiped out Asgard. To top it off, there are hints that his powers might have biblical origins. Lindy even thinks he's channeling divine energy. And time doesn't work normally for him. His molecules are slightly ahead of the timeline, meaning he sort of exists in past, present, and future all at once. So yeah, the Sentry isn't just a Superman analog. He's Superman meets Dr. Manhattan with a dash of Jekyll and Hyde and a hint of biblical apocalypse. He seems like a villain here, but knowing his backstory, he might flip sides and become a huge deal later on, maybe even in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. Another cool thing? There's a behind-the-scenes promo showing off some real stunt work, including Florence Pugh jumping off Malaysia's Merdeka 118, the second tallest building in the world. Absolutely wild. No green screen there. People have been wanting more practical effects and less CGI overload from Marvel, and this looks like they're finally listening. The whole promo style feels different too, less polished, more raw and grounded. If that carries through to the actual movie, Thunderbolts might be something really fresh. The Fantastic Four First Steps, July 25th, 2025. Marvel's kicking off Phase 6 with a brand new take on the Fantastic Four. This reboot brings in a fresh cast: Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as the Thing. This time around, the team is going head-to-head with some major comic book heavyweights. Galactus, played by Ralph Ineson, and his right-hand herald, the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner. When Disney bought 21st Century Fox, a lot of fans figured the Fantastic Four were done for, but Kevin Feige revived the hype with a surprise announcement back at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. Since then, it's been a wild ride with updates, delays, director swaps, but now it finally has a release date. And don't expect a traditional origin story. According to the official synopsis, this one's set in a 1960s-style retro-futuristic world, which already sounds pretty cool. There are also some mystery roles still under wraps, but we do know John Malkovich, Natasha Lyonne, and Sarah Niles are part of the cast. And according to a Film Updates post, filming wrapped up in November 2024. Director Matt Shakman is going for a totally different vibe with the Fantastic Four First Steps. He says the movie's all about channeling that hopeful, adventurous spirit of the 50s and 60s. Think space race energy, JFK speeches, and the excitement of exploring the unknown. In his words, it's like imagining the Fantastic Four blasting off into space instead of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. They're not famous because they're superheroes, they're astronauts first and also a family. Eyes of Wakanda, August 6, 2025. After the big success of the two Black Panther movies, Marvel figured it was time to dive deeper into Wakanda's story, this time through a TV series. The spotlight's on the Hatut Zaraze, a secretive group of Wakandan warriors sent on missions to recover vibranium artifacts throughout history. What makes this one stand out is that it's not just another side project. This animated miniseries is actually set in the main MCU timeline. Yep, the first Marvel animation show to do that. So it's more connected than anything they've done in animation before, which is pretty huge. It's a 4-episode series and kicks off as the first TV show in Phase 6, dropping this August. The voice cast is looking solid too, with names like Patricia Belcher, Larry Garron, Adam Gold, Lynn Whitfield, Jacques Coleman, and Yona Zhao already confirmed. They did show a short teaser during the D23 event in August 2024, but it didn't give away much, just enough to get people curious. Marvel Zombies, October 3rd, 2025. Back in 2021, Marvel dropped the animated anthology series What If, and one standout episode was What If Zombies. That creepy twist turned out to be popular enough to spin off into its own thing. Now, in Phase 6, we're getting Marvel Zombies, a 4-episode animated miniseries that leans into the undead chaos, though it's likely not canon. The show takes inspiration from the Marvel Zombies comics and focuses on a group of survivors battling zombified versions of former heroes and villains. It's written by Zeb Wells, who got solid Marvel creds and also worked on Robot Chicken, so expect some wild and possibly darkly funny moments. The cast is stacked too. Along with some of the returning MCU voices, we've got Florence Pugh, Haley Steinfeld, Dominique Thorne, Iman Vellani, and Todd Williams all stepping in. These are some of the newer faces from the live-action side, now lending their voices to the animated madness. This show adds a fresh, gory twist to the Marvel animated multiverse lineup. And at D23, fans got a sneak peek that showed Kate Bishop, Wenwu, and Shang-Chi in action, trying to survive a pretty intense zombie attack. Wonderman, December 2025. Wonderman is Marvel's upcoming miniseries all about Simon Williams, a Hollywood actor who also happens to have superhero powers. The twist? He's cast as Wonderman in a movie. So, yeah, he's basically Wonderman playing Wonderman in Wonderman. Very meta. This one's getting the Marvel Spotlight treatment, which usually means the focus is more on the character and less on big-picture MCU stuff. So don't expect a ton of multiverse craziness or crossover events, though let's be honest, there's probably at least a 90% chance Wong pops up. He always does. The show is co-created by Destin Daniel Cretton, who's juggling a bunch of Marvel projects, including an upcoming Spider-Man movie, and Andrew Guest. Cretton isn't the showrunner, but he helped shape the vision. There were some delays thanks to the strikes, but filming's officially done, so we might get a release date soon. The cast is pretty stacked too. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is leading as Simon/Wonderman, with Ben Kingsley back as the always hilarious Trevor Slattery, Demetrius Gross as the Grim Reaper, yup, Simon's brother, and Ed Harris playing his Hollywood agent. Definitely sounds like it's gonna be a fun, weird ride. Simon Williams, aka Wonderman, has had a wild ride in Marvel Comics since his debut in Avengers #9 back in 1964. Avengers Doomsday, May 1st, 2026. The Russo brothers are officially back in the MCU, and not just for one, but two big Avengers films in Phase 6. These upcoming crossovers are packing in familiar faces, including the cast from the Fantastic Four and characters from Phase 5's Thunderbolts. But the real jaw-dropper? Robert Downey Jr. is making his return, this time not as Iron Man, but as Dr. Doom. Yep, seriously. His last MCU moment was in Endgame back in 2019, and while that felt like a wrap, turns out it wasn't his final bow after all. This recasting also comes with a major plot shift. Originally, Kang the Conqueror was set to be the big bad, but that changed after Jonathan Majors was let go following a conviction in 2023. With Majors out, the film's title also switched from Avengers: The Kang Dynasty to Avengers Doomsday. Spider-Man 4, July 24th, 2026. Tom Holland's been non-stop ever since his Spider-Man movies blew up, and fans have been waiting since 2021 for the next chapter. Even though No Way Home didn't wrap up his story, we've basically been hanging off a cliff for 4 years with no major updates until recently. While chatting with Jimmy Fallon in late 2024, Holland finally gave fans a little something to hang on to. He said it's happening and confirmed that filming kicks off next summer. So yeah, looks like Spider-Man 4 is set to start shooting in 2025 and might swing into theaters sometime in 2026. As for other familiar faces, rumors have been flying about Andrew Garfield coming back, but he told GQ that he's not involved, though even he admitted no one believes him anymore. Outside of Tom Holland returning, everything else is still under wraps for now. Once we hear more, you'll be the first to know. Avengers Secret Wars, May 7th, 2027. If you think there's not much out there about Avengers Doomsday, wait until you hear about Avengers Secret Wars. Right now, all we really know is that it's definitely happening, and that's pretty much it. But hey, that won't stop us from speculating. Secret Wars is set to follow Doomsday, so we can assume it'll continue the story of Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four, and the rest of the Avengers. Behind the scenes, there have been a few delays and shakeups, including the addition of Stephen McFeely as the screenwriter. That's the guy who helped write the Captain America trilogy, Infinity War, and Endgame, so that's a solid win for the project. If Marvel pulls from the 1980s Secret Wars comics, we might be in for some big stuff. Think multiversal chaos, Dr. Doom taking center stage, and even a possible showdown with Galactus, who's set to debut in the Fantastic Four First Steps. So yeah, it's still mostly under wraps, but expect epic battles, high stakes, and that classic Marvel cosmic flair. Daredevil Born Again Season 2, TBA. Daredevil Born Again is getting a second season, and it's keeping the action going right where things left off. The show is a continuation of the original Netflix Daredevil series, now fully revived under Marvel Studios and part of the MCU. This season is being produced through Marvel's new TV label, with Dario Scardapan taking over as showrunner. Charlie Cox is back as Matt Murdock, and he's joined once again by Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, along with familiar faces like Deborah Ann Woll, Eldon Henson, Wilson Bethel, Ganaya Walton, Clark Johnson, and Michael Gandolfini. Basically, if you loved the original run, you're in for more of that energy. The project originally started back in 2022 and was meant to be a massive 18-episode season, but Marvel made some changes in late 2023, reshuffling the creative team and splitting the story into 2 seasons instead. Season 2 kicked off filming in February 2025 and will shoot through July. You can catch it on Disney Plus sometime in early or mid-2026. It'll have 8 episodes and officially be part of Phase 6 of the MCU. First 2 episodes are being directed by Benson and Moorhead, and they're also handling a whole block of the season, so a lot to look forward to. The Punisher Special Presentation, TBA. John Bernthal made a big splash returning as Frank Castle in Daredevil Born Again, his first time back in the role since The Punisher wrapped on Netflix in 2019. Fans were hyped to see him reunite with Charlie Cox's Daredevil, and it looks like their on-screen chemistry isn't done yet. Some folks have been pushing for a full-blown Punisher reboot, but Marvel's taking a different route, one that actually makes a lot of sense. Instead of another full series, Frank Castle's getting his own Marvel special presentation on Disney+. Think Werewolf by Night or the Guardians Holiday Special. It's short, intense, and straight to the point, just like Frank. Honestly, the Punisher isn't the easiest character to stretch out over multiple episodes. His best comic stories? Mostly one-shots or short runs. He's angry, he's violent, and he wants revenge. That's the core of who he is. It works better in small doses, or when he's popping up in someone else's story, like Spider-Man or Civil War. So, trying to drag that out over multiple seasons, it can get old fast. The special presentation format solves that. It lets Marvel drop one tight, action-packed story without wasting time. Imagine 45 minutes of Frank Castle going full Punisher. No filler, no forced side plots, just mayhem. Perfect. It also means Marvel doesn't have to bring back old supporting characters or stretch a simple premise too thin. Vision Quest, TBA. Marvel's wrapping up its Phase 6 TV lineup with Vision Quest, the second spin-off from WandaVision. And yep, it's all about Vision. Paul Bettany is back in the role, and here's the fun twist: James Spader is also returning as Ultron, which is a big throwback to Avengers Age of Ultron. The title Vision Quest might not be final, but that's what everyone's calling it for now. It's meant to cap off a trilogy that started with WandaVision and continues with Agatha all along. For those keeping track, Vision's one of the stronger Avengers, built from vibranium. Yep, that same made-up metal from Wakanda. He died twice in Infinity War, but Wanda brought a version of him back in WandaVision. As for the new show's plot, details are still under wraps, but the official synopsis keeps it simple. Vision is on a journey to rediscover his memories and humanity. And there you have it, some of the most exciting Marvel projects dropping in 2025 and 2026. Which of these upcoming releases are you most hyped for? And do you think Sentry or Galactus will end up being the bigger threat to the MCU? Let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next